Hi there, in today's video I'm describing two flights I took with IndiGo, India's largest airline with over 50% market share. The first flight I'm describing is 6E634, a flight between Kolkata and India's leisure capital Goa, which I caught on the 27th of February 2022. So Calcutta Airport, chaotic security took longer than usual, the machine broke down. Thankfully, after my bag was taken out, in fact my knapsack was the last piece of luggage to go through the machine when I think the rollers went for a toss. There is another bunch of security out here which seems emptier. I think that's because it's a bit further away from the IndiGo check-in counters. Now I'm on gate 19, debating whether I should go to the lounge, use my priority pass for the lounge. Okay. Calcutta seems to be not a very quiet airport. But anyway, let's try and get to the gates. Let's see, there's a smoking zone upstairs, mate. One way to stop people from smoking is to lock up all the smoking rooms, which is what Kolkata Airport has done. I began the trek from one end of the domestic pier where the smoking room and the lounge was to my gate. On the way I saw a lot of F&B outlets. Kolkata Airport was also developed alongside Chennai, but unlike the southern Indian city, Kolkata Airport clearly has some spare capacity. While walking past the outlet of Flurries being a very important and famous pastry and patty shop in Kolkata, I got very tempted and I wanted to try one of their patties. In the video you see me waffling a bit, but eventually I did go inside and bought myself a coffee and a mutton patty to go on the flight. I got to the gate just in time to see my aircraft, India Victor Quebec, land from Indore. I got about 20 minutes to charge my phone and just wait for the flight to pull up before the IndiGo staff started boarding. It was a fairly seamless and quick boarding procedure, even though the flight was fairly full. This was, as usual, a A320neo. Parked at the gate next to us was an Air India A320 that had just flown in from Mumbai. So I boarded my flight IndiGo 634, operated by A321neo with Pratt & Whitney engines. This is part of IndiGo's initial order of A320neos. The newer planes have the CFM LEAP engines. This aircraft is registered Victor Tango India Victor Quebec, and the flight to Goa should take it's a block time of 3 hours, but it usually takes about 2 hours 40 minutes. You only realize how broad India is when you take east-west flights or vice versa. And apparently the winds, we have significant headwinds on this flight. I mean, if you're flying west to east right now, flight times are less than usual because of favorable tailwinds. So let's see how this flight goes. Looking at the waiting area, it didn't look like it was at a full load. The check-in guy couldn't really tell me. Anyhow, let's see how the flights goes. Keep watching for more. IndiGo has a well-acquired reputation for punctuality, and we push back right on time, 11:50 a.m. Given that Kolkata's terminal is on one end of the airport, the taxi to runway 01 ride took us no time. Kolkata has a set of parallel runways 0119s, even though it is the westernmost 01 right, 19 left that is usually used. It was a strong takeoff over the northern suburbs of Kolkata, following which we took a wide left-hand turn to acquire a direct track to Goa. As far as flights go, it was a standard IndiGo flight. IndiGo legroom is standard like all low-cost carriers across the world, decent enough, but not somewhere I would want to be on a long-haul flight. IndiGo has also stopped uploading fresh food items such as sandwiches and calzones and only gives dehydrated foodstuffs where they just add water. This was slightly irritating and something I did not know, but this was my first IndiGo flight in quite a while. The highlight of the trip was overflying the Indian city of Hyderabad, where I could even take a glimpse at Rajiv Gandhi International Airport in the city. The sun was out, so please do forgive the light conditions on this particular clip. While talking to IndiGo's social media team after the flight, I discovered that IndiGo only uploads fresh food upon pre-booking, whether you have a corporate fare or not. This is ostensibly to reduce wastage, even though I doubt IndiGo really wasted food. It must be a cost-cutting measure as well. We started our descent soon after crossing Hyderabad, and it was a pretty normal approach into Goa, which you can see in other videos of mine. The flight track was again a normal flight track, direct flight track from Kolkata to Goa. The moment we landed, of course, everybody wanted to jump out of the plane, even though the crew was desperately trying to do a row-by-row disembarkation protocol. But that is the same thing no matter where you are in the world. After spending another day driving cars all over Goa, this time the new Maruti Suzuki Baleno second generation, I flew back with IndiGo again. This flight was 6C-5019. What would be unique about this flight was that it was going to be my first arrival on an IndiGo plane into Delhi's Terminal 3. Given that it was a mid-afternoon flight, we were afforded some great views of Goa, the port of Vasco, and then the Aguada to Baga beach soon after takeoff. Goa is a really beautiful part of India, and if you haven't been there, you really must. It's a great place to go, not just for the sun, sand, but also now it's becoming a great food destination as well, with many, many new restaurants opening up. Being a late afternoon, early evening flight, the views out of the plane were superb after takeoff and upon landing. I got a great video of my landing in Delhi, which you can catch in its entirety, unsped up entirety, from the link above. If they have any complaints about this flight, is this time round I did try booking a sandwich in advance, but they did not upload any sandwiches in Goa. There also was no choice of cold drinks on the flight, so you couldn't get a Coke or a Diet Coke or a Coke Zero on this particular flight, which is very upsetting given that the fares that IndiGo was charging between Goa and Kolkata or Delhi were pretty substantial. My host paid 12,500 rupees for this ticket, which many people consider cheap right now given that Goa flights are packed to the brim and airlines are doing a good job making money on these flights. You can even see our track at the end of this video. It was a standard track from Goa to Mumbai, after which the aircraft caught the Mumbai-Delhi Airways. Delhi-Goa is a fairly frequent flight I take, so I'm sure you'll see more Delhi-Goa flights or Goa-Delhi flights in further trip reports. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this trip report, do be sure to like, subscribe and comment on this video. And do be sure to watch the entire landing video. It's pretty cool. I also do have a little explainer of all the parts of Delhi we are flying over, and it is not sped up like it is over here.